His Majesty the King has a new leader of the opposition in Canadian Parliament, Pierre Poilievre. To address the title that I have, which is basically clickbait, to be fair, is Pierre Poilievre a racist? No. Other than the knee-jerk biases that are kind of ingrained to us by whatever culture or society that we belong to varying degrees per individual. No, he's not. And if he or anyone claims that they don't have those knee-jerk, culturally ingrained biases, you are either the exception, the exceptional few, or you're lying. And by the way, Pierre is really good at lying. The reason why he's really good at it is because he's a career politician. He is really good at the othering tactic, which is what he's been emphasizing and has been sticking in my craw. Not because, I actually think he believes the othering. It's a deliberate political tactic. And that's my biggest issue. Is he a racist? Or is he a misogynist? Is he sexist? Is he anti-LGBT? Alphabet. I'm sorry, but I can't pronounce all those. It just ties my tongue in knots. So I apologize. Here's the reality. Other than his ingrained knee-jerk cultural biases from whichever practices he chooses. No, he's not. But you will hear those words coming out of his mouth if it's to his political advantage. And if it rouses his political base. And by the way, that's who elected him leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Not the Canadian voters, but the base. And that's who he was talking to. Now, one of his big talking points, and he makes a big deal out of, he comes from humble beginnings. He doesn't. He comes from middle-class beginnings, at best. Now, the concept of that we have, the myth that we have of the elite cabal running everything, he's played into that without actually saying it, which is what he's really good at. Because he's been railing against the elites. Now, here's the funny thing. He's a career politician who was first elected when he was 24. Let that sink in. 24. So his career, before he became a politician, an elected politician, one of 360 people at the time sitting in our House of Commons, one of 360 people elected to represent Canadians, 40 million of us. You don't get much more elite than that. Wait, oh no, he did get more elite than that in the sense that at some point he was sitting in cabinet. One of 30 people representing 40 million Canadians. How about that for elite? Now, he may not be in the same social categories that we'd love to create. For example, his favorite person to rail against is, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, whose childhood home was 24 Sussex Drive because his father happened to be Prime Minister when he was born. Did we mention that, Pierre Elliott Trudeau wasn't poor either? That's the picture he paints when he's talking about the elites. But he also paints the concept of the elites being, the intelligentsia or banking elites, all of which were members of the cabinets that Pierre Poilievre has been part of in the past. Do I actually believe the words he's saying? No. Do I actually believe he believes the words he's saying? No. But out there in this vast country of 40 million Canadians, there's a handful of wackos, and that's what you are, who love guns, who seem to think that that's a good idea to go kill some elites. And now you have a politician who is a member of the elite himself telling you that they're evil and they're out to get you. In not so many words. Because that's not what he's saying. He's leaving it open to interpretation. To rile the base. Now, othering and other words, if they're to his political advantage, will come out of his mouth. Is he any of these things? No. Other than, as I mentioned before, to whatever cultural or society bias that was ingrained in him as he grew up, a knee-jerk reaction. But consciously? No. On an individual basis with other people? No. But he is a career politician who can and will say whatever he needs to say to sell what he is selling. That's my beef. Doesn't matter what t-shirt color you're wearing, what political party you belong to. I have a problem with that.